Hey guys, it's Taylor. Today I'm going to show you how to do my contour and highlight routine. On pretty much every tutorial that I do, I get asked how I contour and highlight my face. So in this video I'm going to share with you a few tips and tricks that I picked up, and I hope they work just as well for you as they work for me. So just to get you a little up to speed, all I've done so far is put on my foundation, which I use the Revlon Color Stay. The color that I'm using right now is 220 Natural Beige. It's a liquid that looks like this. And I apply that with a stipple brush all over my face. And then to set it, because I'm super oily, I want to keep it matte all day, so I use the True Match Super Blendable L'Oreal Powder. And this is a nude beige. It looks like this. And then all I also did was put on my brows and my mascara. That's it. First things first, you always want to start contouring and then go into highlights. I like to use eyeshadow. A lot of people like to use bronzer, but personally I find eyeshadows cheaper and it works just as well for this technique. So I'm going to take Buck, and just to show you what that looks like, it's this one right here. This is actually from the Naked palette, but you can use any matte chocolatey brown. Again, you don't want it to have shimmer and you don't want it to have an orange base. That'll look very unnatural. Keeping it with a chocolatey brown base is easier to blend. So the first thing I'm going to do is get those cheekbones out. So I'm going to take a very fluffy crease brush, which looks like this. And again, this is for eyeshadow. You can get this anywhere. It doesn't have to be an expensive brush. And I'm going to pop it right into Buck, that matte brown. You sort of get a shadow when you're in darker light, and that's what you want to achieve with a contour. Contouring creates a shadow, and what that does is hide things that you don't like. Also, a shadow creates the slimming effect, so it's going to make a face that looks more round, slimmer, and more defined. So the first thing you're going to do is find your natural cheekbone line, which you can see, it should go right about here, back towards your ear. Starting from the back of your hairline, you're just going to go and bring it down. About halfway across your face, you're going to line up to about the edge of your eye, and you're just going to have to keep blending to create that line. So you want to create sort of like a triangle against your hairline and then bring it down. And then using that same fluffy brush, I'm going to dip it into my True Match Blendable Pressed Foundation Powder and blend that right over top. And you're just going to keep doing little swirls until you achieve the blended look that you think looks most natural on your skin. And then you also, once you reach the back of your hairline, want to bring it up into your temple. And the reason you do that, instead of leaving it just right here, it looks way more natural. When you get a shadow, it also hits the side of your face right here, the temple. So you're going to get a very chiseled, defined facial structure by also bringing this up into your temple, and as well as the top of your forehead. So right now you're creating, what is this, like a mini 3 or backwards E, whatever you want to call it. So right against your hairline. And then again, just take your pressed foundation and buff it over top. So now I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Again, bring it back. Another technique to help find your cheekbones is to do like that suck-in face. And then right here, you can see where the natural like hollows of your cheeks go. That's where you want to plop the color. So about halfway, bring it back up. And then the temple and forehead. So you can see already all I've done is my cheeks, and it helps to sink in and kind of hollow out my cheeks on both sides. So next, continuing our cheeks, you're going to go about to the center of your brow, I would say, and you're going to kind of bring it downwards. What that does is bringing it downwards right here. You can see when you naturally smile, you get kind of the apples of your cheeks stick out, and that'll help push up the apples of your cheeks. So right underneath your cheeks, and if you have to smile or make like a funny face to get your cheeks to stand out, you can do that to help find the hollow. So this looks silly, but making this face helps to find the hollow of where your natural cheek is. And that helps to give your face a ton more structure and more of a chiseled, defined look. And then again, pop that foundation right over top and blend it out. So you can see when you contour, it definitely pushes back the areas that you don't want to be standing out. So if you have more of a rounder cheek, more of a rounder face, this is going to help pull back and slim that area. It's also going to help push out the apples of your cheeks, therefore creating a very slimmer face. So next, using the same color Buck, that brown eyeshadow, I'm going to do my forehead, and you can see where like your hairline goes down, you're going to follow that. But if you do feel very uncomfortable with the size of your forehead, and you feel like you want it to be a little bit smaller, all you're going to do is bring this down a little bit more than I am to create more of a shadow, which also, again, hides that area and makes it look smaller. And you're just going to blend back and forth between your foundation color and that brown eyeshadow. So next I want to do my nose, because that I find to be the most common thing that people don't like about themselves is the size or the shape of their nose. So for this technique, I'm going to use a very, very small tapered brush that looks like this. Again, you can pick one of these up anywhere. And I'm going to use that same brown eyeshadow. This part you have to be the most careful about, because this part will look the most unnatural if you do it wrong. With that said, don't be scared. Just give it a try. It's going to take a few times of practice if you've never done it before. But this technique helps to slim down your nose. And most people find that the biggest part of their nose is at the end of right here. So all I'm going to do is take this brush, and starting from the end of my brow, which you see goes downward right here, you're going to lightly, very carefully make a line from the end, or beginning I guess, of your eyebrow all the way down to the tip. Like so. I made it a little darker so I hope you can see it. And bring it in right at the end. Same thing on the other side. And just have a very steady hand when you're doing this. So it should look like this to begin with. So there should be two lines right at the end of your brows, or beginning, and right towards the end you're going to taper it off and lightly just blend it downwards. So once your two lines are on there, you're going to take another very small brush, and using your foundation, you're going to buff that out. So all you do with buffing is kind of move in like little circles, adding the lighter color over top the darker one. So there you can see that is the contour of the nose. It's a little bit darker than what I normally do. I'm just hoping that the camera picks it up. You can see how it pinches in the end as well as the bridge of your nose, and it creates a very, very straight line. So now I'm going to move into my jawbone, and what I'm going to use for this again is the same one we used for our cheekbones, this fluffy crease brush and buck. And I'm going to place this right on the end of my jawline. And so just bring this color from your chin backwards to the end of, what is this, like your ear. And you're going to be doing this underneath your face. And it should go back right where the end of your jaw goes. You can kind of feel where it sinks in. Bring it back right into there. Back behind your ear. And then same thing for the other side. You're just going to place it right under your chin, towards your ear. And once that's done underneath your jawline, you can see how it pushes forward your face and creates more of a defined look. And it also casts a shadow on your neck, which hides it and makes it look smaller. The last thing as far as contour I'm going to define is my chin. And all I'm going to do is, taking the same little brush that we use for our nose, is I'm going to define my chin a little bit and my lips. So I'm going to place this right underneath my natural lip line, very lightly, and I'm going to use my finger to blend it. And what that does is, placing a shadow right here, is create more of a pouty lip look. So it sinks in your chin a little bit, but pushes out the bottom lip. So another tip, just remember, you can always add more. It's easier to add more contour than take it off. Now to finish up, I'm going to highlight and add blush. So the highlighting, what that does is help catch the light and create a natural glow, which pushes those areas of your face forward. So the areas of the face that you're more comfortable with is what you're going to want to highlight. Basically every area that we did in contour, we're going to add a highlight. For the highlight, I'm going to use another powder. This is Well Rested from Bare Essentials, and it looks like this. This is a little sample size of it. But it is a yellow tinted or yellow based concealer. And using another fluffy crease brush like the one we just used to contour with, I'm going to dip that into the highlight color, And I'm going to first start on my cheekbones. So my cheekbones I want to be very prominent and stand out the most. And I'm going to apply this sort of like another triangle. So I'm going to place it right underneath my eye, down the side of my nose, and bring it back on top of the contour that we did. And same thing goes for the other side. Right underneath the eye, down the side of my nose, all over my cheek, and on top of that contour. So we did the apples of our cheeks. Now I'm going to also place this highlight right at the top of my brows. So following the same natural shape of them, I'm placing this right on the top, as well as a little bit in the center of my forehead. Keep in mind, if you did bring the shadow or the contour down farther than I did, you want to do that underneath it. Next, I'm going to apply this right on my chin. So right at the bottom of it, underneath the line that we placed with the contour, place that there. And then 2 more areas I'm going to highlight is right underneath my brows, because I didn't do any eyeshadow color. So I do want that to be more standing out. And on the other side as well. And then the last area is down the nose. So right in between those 2 lines that we created with the contour, you're going to place this. So that is all for highlighting. The very last thing I'm going to do is blush. So using an angled blush brush, it doesn't have to be angled, that's just what I use. I'm going to use a very soft neutral blush. And I'm going to place this right over top the highlight and the contour, right at the end going back towards my hairline. Blush brings color into the face and makes your skin look more lively and youthful. So place this right over top. And I do recommend doing this step. A lot of people are scared of blush if they naturally have rosy cheeks. And you wear enough foundation, you're going to cover that natural color. So you want to make sure that you do have that glow in your skin. And then I'm going to lightly bring it on the apples of my cheeks. When you make that smiling face, you get your apples to stand out. And you're going to apply that right on there because that's where you naturally get rosy anyway. And then again, just bring it back. So to finish up the entire look, I'm going to show you how I do my lips to make them a little bit more pouty. So again, you saw that we created the shadow underneath the bottom lip, and that'll push out the bottom lip. I'm also going to use a very light eyeshadow color. I'm going to use Virgin from the Naked palette, which is this one right here. It's kind of like a light champagne-y color. I'm going to apply this right on the Cupid's bow. And what that does is, again, when you highlight, what does it do? It brings it out. So it's going to look larger. So I'm placing this right at the Cupid's bow, which the Cupid's bow is right up here, kind of like that M shape. And very lightly, following your natural lip line, you can go a little bit out of its natural shape. You're going to apply this, which catches the light, thus creating the look of a larger lip. And you're also going to place this right in the center. And it's a very, very subtle thing to do, but it makes a huge difference when you do it, especially in photos. Doing this whole entire routine, your face will look totally different in photos. And that is everything. So you guys can see there's a pretty big difference by just adding these few steps and highlighting, contouring, and adding color to my skin with blush. You get a very, very big difference in the way your skin and your facial structure looks. The key tip with it, remember, is blending and adding foundation if you do mess up or if it's too dark. So you guys probably noticed before I did the contour, my face is a lot rounder. So doing this, I pushed out my cheeks, I slimmed my nose and my jawline, and now I have a totally different structured face. Depending on your face shape, you're going to have to tweak the tips that I told you. So contouring to me is very important. It hides and shadows things that you don't like about your face, and it also helps to emphasize things and bring out the things about your face that you do like. You can add all of these steps or a few of these steps into your everyday routine. They only take a few seconds to do once you get the hang of it. And they are very, very helpful. You can do them over top or underneath anything that you're already doing. And these extra steps definitely make a huge difference in the way that your face looks. If you guys have any other questions or comments about this video, please comment below, like this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. I hope this helped you guys out, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.